just had some technical difficulties. I started to go live and then realized that my microphone was not plugged in. So I was like, whoa, wait, I can't speak without my microphone plugged in. That would be just ridiculous. So if I keep looking up, it's because, hi, Heidi. Hi, Heidi. There was a car accident outside my window like 20 minutes ago. And so all these cars are coming in front of me and I'm easily distracted. So anyway, hey, everybody's okay out there, by the way. Hey, how's it going? Hi. How's it going? I'm really excited about today because it's Monday, and that means I get to cause mayhem, which brings me joy and happiness. So, and it's the sun is shining here in Corvallis. Hey, Max, how are you? It's nice to see you. Um, the sun is shining, and I'm glad it's going good. Hyde, I love that. Social workers rock, and we rock, and that's really amazing. Hi, Max. So good to see you. The sun is shining in Corvallis, which I cannot tell a lie. It just brings me such joy. And I did not believe for the life of me that that um, the whole like seasonal affective disorder thing was real. Like, because I love the rain and I love the weather that's happening, but I'm telling you, the sun being out for 2 days has made me go, oh wow, that's true. Okay. So anyway, I'm really happy. It's supposed to rain again tomorrow, but anyway, there it is. So I'm really excited to talk to y'all today because I have been having some really amazing things happen. And this week, I'm talking about advocacy coming from within. And so, as you all know, I engage in advocacy all the time. Hey, Chris, how's it going? It's good to see you. So anyway, I engage in advocacy all the time, and I really believe that there are multiple ways that we advocate, not just up on the hill or during the legislature. I mean, I think that if you're engaging in advocacy, it becomes sort of this year-round, constant experience where it like sort of gets into all the fibers of your being, and so I was doing this presentation. I've been doing these amazing Lenten lectures at my church where we're talking about the Old Testament and the safety net in the Old Testament and how that connects to the safety net today. And it's been this remarkable 5-week series. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Tamia. How are you? It's so good to see you. Patricia Bird, my fellow bird word. So we've been doing this amazing lecture series talking about the safety net, the social safety net. And last week we were talking about toxic debt. And someone in the audience at the very end said, I'm so happy to see you, Patricia. Someone in the audience, we were doing the Q&A platform, and someone in the audience said, what I've not heard any talk about as a solution to the issue of debt is living within your means. And so the feminist in me and like the activist in me and the advocate in me like had all of these words going on in my head, some of which involve swear words, some of which involved the word patriarchy. But I could have like, said some really obnoxious things. But instead, I sort of I said, I think you're making a valid point, and not to validate his feelings, but to talk about the fact that, and this really has struck me repeatedly over the last week or so as I've been thinking about it, is that all of our systems, all of our welfare systems, and all of our human services systems are predicated on the notion that this false American dream that you can, if you work hard enough and live within your means, then you can have everything. And so I just really, I feel like from my personal experience and from what I've experienced in my own life, that that's not the case. And that is really not the case in 2018. And so what I where I really went to in this, as I was mulling it over and thinking about it and thinking about how this notion of living within your means is really does not apply anymore. I was thinking about what that really looks like for women, especially women who are single moms or who are living in poverty or who have had an experience where everything was going along just fine, and then, you know, a lot of things fell away for them. Maybe the job fell away, maybe the partner fell away, maybe, other things fell away, and all of a sudden women are thinking, well, I got to take care of my kids, so this is what I'm going to do. And I started making this list of what that really looks like for women, like what it looks like for women to be living within your means, and what living means for women. And what I think living means for women is birth control, childcare, transportation, utilities, rent, salary, clothing, shoes, diapers, toys, furniture, food, towels, sheets, socks, underwear, phone, haircuts, doctors, pediatricians. And we've created this, and I know that list is not exhaustive by any stretch of the imagination, and it might include a lot of different things. But what it's meant is that women, because our advocacy oftentimes comes naturally, women have figured out this underground economy that talks about who has the hand-me-downs and who can do the living room haircuts and who's got access, who can help me pool together resources to put all our food together and then split it out by household. So women have developed this underground economy that is by far one of the most badass, kick-ass economies that operates underground in America. And that is how we help our families rise. And that is how we help our families survive. And that is how we help our families that's what living means. And so I really want to take the opportunity to dismantle this notion and these systems that operate under the notion of living within your means. And I really want to push that so that we take out the middle and talk about what living in America really means, and by whose standard are we supposed to be living, and who's defining the means, who's defining that. And what I saw was, and what I've come to is, as usual, who's defining that are white, straight, heterosexual men who live above the quote unquote middle class standard, which I'm just done with, because of course they've redefined middle class to mean something like you make over $250,000 a year, which I just laugh at repeatedly. But really talking about what living in America means instead of living within your means. And my personal connection to that, and my heart story about that, and the advocacy story that I carry in my heart about that has to do a lot with my mom and my childhood. And I have been talking a lot about, in my writing and in recently, about my dad. He committed suicide when I was 6. And man, that struggle has been real this year. But we ended up in a position where sometimes there weren't utilities, and sometimes there was no water, and sometimes there was no power, and sometimes there was no gas. And it wasn't that my mom wasn't living within her means. It was that, sometimes she wasn't, let's be real, but sometimes it was that my mom was experiencing such a soul-crushing grief that she couldn't function. Richard Pyatt, are you kidding me? Hey, buddy, I miss your face. Oh, you and I should catch up. It would be so fun. So, wow, affect. Switch. Richard Pyatt, I'm so happy to see you on my Facebook Live. So it wasn't that my mom wasn't living within her means. It was that she was grieving the death of my father. And so sometimes we didn't have water. And we joke a lot. I came up with this years ago, that there's a book. One of my books is called The Fallout Spells Mom Says the Water in the Back of the Toilet's Clean. Because there were times, although they were few and far between, but there were times when there was no water. And so I would get water out the back of the toilet and mix it with blueberry muffin mix. And that's what I would eat with my sister. And that happened. And that was real. And so that's brought me to this space where when we talk about advocacy from a heart-centered space and we talk about advocacy from a space of love and connection, we have to remember that everybody has a story. And when we talk about people living within their means as a way to eliminate debt, we're eliminating that story for people and that reality for people. And we can't do that. We can't afford to do that as advocates in 2018. And so my hope for you all today is that, to remember when you judge those who are struggling, by saying that they should be able to live within their means, remember that there's probably a story behind their lives. And there's a story behind where they are and how they've come to be there. And remember that often in our worlds that there's a way to approach debt in a way that doesn't come from a space of judgment. And that if we are going to move forward as advocates, we have to remember that sometimes the only way for people to stay alive because they're experiencing life is to run away from the reality of what that life is. And so all of that is to say that let's stop talking about living within our means and start talking about what living means, and start giving people the ability to answer that question on their own terms so that we can advocate better for them to shift the system so that it's no longer predicated on that. I really want to disrupt that idea and that system about what that means. And I think this is a really kick-ass avenue for disruption. And I'm blogging about it today, of course, because it's Monday Mayhem. And then, so it's going to be over on the blog. And then I really just want you to take this week to really analyze and look at what inspires you. When I pulled my truth bombs this morning, it was all about what inspires me. And so I really want you to look at and analyze what inspires you so that you can engage in advocacy on those terms. And I am creating some new and exciting content, including advocacy scripts. I just rewrote a bunch of advocacy scripts with Max, and we're bringing in some really amazing personal stories from my own advocacy experiences, and all of that new and exciting content with the advocacy scripts and the content and the personal stories are going to be over on my Patreon page. And so I really, really want you to join me over there on Patreon. It's patreon.com /blah, blah. Outtake. Do-over, patreon.com / not backsplash, because that's in your kitchen, clearly, / birdgirl1001. And look, I'm even going to post it right here in my comments so that you actually know what I'm talking about, because I am not talking about a backslash. I am, however, talking about how I've got some really bomb-ass advocacy scripts that can help you engage in advocacy, whether it's on what living means or any other thing that's totally flipping your skirt and lighting you up right now, at that link. And then some really cool stories sort of expanding on my own advocacy experiences, not just from my childhood, but also from my adulthood, that talk about how I'm really advocating from a space in my heart and not just in my head. So anyway, that's my mayhem. My mayhem is for you to really totally get into. This is it right here. I even have a little analyze what inspires you, and then go out and advocate about that thing that totally inspires you. And I hope you have a super awesome day, and I'm really happy y'all joined me here on my Facebook Live, and I think you're awesome. And I hope you go off and have a really amazing day. And guess what? I'll be here again on Friday at noon for Fuck Shit Up Friday, which is one of my favorite days. And I think you are all super, super, super duper amazing and wonderful and awesome. So I want to thank, oh, sorry. So Max, my friend Max just texted me and said /. That's even better. It's not even a backslash. It's a /. There you go. Thanks for all your hearts and flowers. I super think you're awesome. I'm going to go and take a nap or something. Patricia Bird Craighead, I just love you. And I love you saying great insight. And Max Green, I love you being in my world because you are my supporter and my love. So have a great week, y'all. And I'll see you on Friday. Talk to you soon.